But we're looking at having a raffle, like the Lions Club, where you get some donations and you raffle it off online. That's kind of the stuff we're looking at. Yeah. And a lot of people can get involved.
Yeah, a lot of them ain't gonna leave their homes.
Right. So I think it's a good thing for the city. Definitely a good thing for malls.
Well, it started kind of doing at least here and there.
Yeah. Mr. Raven. Nothing in. I'm confesticated when I'm
Oh, that's all you're gonna do.
I was just, I didn't even.
As soon as I know what I need to do about it.
They were each holding bricks. Send it to the back of it. They sent it back to me. I was going to the name.
So
I knew you were going to do that.
Yes.
She doesn't have them.
So right away I started working on it.
Just makes it right.
I see you, I thought for a minute you were gonna get on this tractor.
Oh, I wanted to. I wanted one tractor.
They're still operational. They're all good for But one of them was a sign maker. Rose need to make signs. I think the company that makes the sign maker went out of business. So you can't get part of it.
Yesterday I waved through the job, never looked behind me. You know what you want to do?
I know what Temple budget for. Change all the signs.
I'm saying, I'm talking about what you're gonna do, right?
They come back and Browns will be hard. Especially when I start bringing them. Oh, yeah. I don't see it. West side.
all right, good evening.
Good evening.
Call meeting to order. Pledge of Allegiance, the invocation, Alderwoman Marks.
Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us engage in meaningful discussion. Allow us to grow closer as a group and nurture the bonds of community. All these things we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Pledge, Alderman Martin.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Chuck Ashby. Katie Chasson. Brad Core.
Here.
Jeff Doré.
Here.
Vicky Lashley.
Here.
Vernon Martin.
Here.
Sandy Marks.
Here,
Sammy Reddy.
Here.
Byron Wildridge.
Okay, thank you. All right, we'll close the council meeting and open a public hearing for proposed ordinance number 1535.
This is a hearing for the, to receive comments on the proposed ordinance number 1535, an ordinance to amend and reenact section 14(1)B of chapter 14 of article 2 of the Code of Ordinances to increase the minimum fines for traffic violations, to repeal all ordinances, or parts of ordinances contrary thereto in conflict therewith, to provide for the provisions hereof to be severable, to provide for all matters relative thereto. And one wish to come forward at this time and speak in favor of the ordinance, the proponents are first. Please come forward and give us your name and your address and state your comments, please. First call for the proponents. Second call for the proponents. Anyone wish to come forward at this time? Third and final call. Now, for the opponent, anyone wish to speak against this ordinance, please come forward at this time. First call for the opponents. Second call for the opponents. Third and final call. Any comments from the council? No comments from here, I'll ask you to close the hearing.
Thank you, sir. We'll close the hearing. Reopen the council meeting. Any amendments? Agenda amendments? I don't think I can say that again. Any agenda amendments? All right. Approval of minutes of the regular council meeting held on March 8th.
Offer. Second.
Moved by Alderman Doré, second by Alderman Martin. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Sales tax chart. User fee chart you have. Don't get scared. We did not receive the second check from the sales tax for the month of February yet. So the 272,000 is not correct, but that's what we have received so far for that month. So that's why it's showing March 23 is a negative 57% because it's not all in yet. So sewer user fees on par pretty much, up 7.5% from March 23. Any questions?
Mayor,
Yes.
I'd like at this time, I was gonna wait till the end of the meeting. I have a graph that takes all those numbers and makes a picture of it. If I could pass them out now.
Yeah, sure.
Just a minute to let everybody know what they're all about.
Absolutely, absolutely.
The chart that you get is data that's official data, and see that this, you've taken that same data and for the last 10 years, we've charted it. You can see a red line down the middle of the chart, which is a rolling 12-month average. First of all, it's sales tax activity and then the sewer user fee activity. This graph used to be passed out to the council, and it was discontinued about a year ago, and I always thought that it was useful enough to start it over again. I'll just quickly give you a little primer on how to read it, if you read that. You can see the first one with the bluer color background is 2.5% sales tax activity. If you turn the page, it's the same chart that the mayor just spoke of. It's the one that you get from Glenn every month. We're taking those numbers again from, in this case, March 2014 through March 2023. And you can see that on the sales tax activity, the line is fairly steady at about 600,000 a month, and then it begins to jump up to where we are now. Each of those bold lines are a year. So what I plan to do is when, and the mayor okayed this, when you get the data from Glenn that's numerical, I will take the latest and just plot it here. What it does, it leads off the earliest month and it adds the next month. So you're going to be able to see how your sales tax is trending. And in a similar way, the next one with the yellow background is your user fee. I'm calling these graphs for the same reason the mayor just mentioned, that the sales tax revenue is incomplete. So
We don't have the yellow.
We don't have the yellow.
That's it right here.
The same yellow. Sewer user,
Yeah, that's it.
the same,
Oh,
Yellow background.
you don't have this one?
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's the,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
It's so-
Okay, it's just the guy.
Yeah, the yellow background, basically.
Okay,
got it.
all right, I'm sorry. So what this does is it lets you know, you can see in the year of 2020 and 2021 is when the user fee was adjusted, and you can see the elevation in the monthly collection of user fee. And it's continued to climb from April 21 to now. So that's what you expect after you adjusted the user fee upward. So I'll be giving you this every month, and it'll supplement what you get from them. Any questions?
Any questions on those graphs? Okay, so in the mayor's report, normally you would have a financial report also in there. Obviously, that has not been done in years past, nor in the past 3 months. I keep apologizing and telling you that we're working on it, and we are. Christy, our CPA, has given me a report that she offered me to read to the council and, of course, the citizens here. It's Christy has completed the bank reconciliations for all accounts through August 31st, 22, and provided them to the audit firm along with adjusting journal entries to correct the items noted. At this time, the auditor is working through all of these documents to regroup on what is needed to complete the 2022 audit. Glenn and Christy are now working on recording recurring journal entries for September 22 through March 23. Our next step will be to begin the current fiscal year bank reconciliations, beginning with September of 22 and moving forward. This will need to be a slow, methodical process to evaluate the impact on the financials and get accurate numbers going forward. The bank reconciliation function in the current software may not be able to be used for several of the larger accounts going forward due to the fact that transactions for the last year have not been properly linked to the bank reconciliation function. For those accounts not impacted, the bank reconciliation function will be utilized in the software. Once the auditor finalizes all the audit adjusting entries, Glenn and Christie will then post these to the prior fiscal year, then review to determine the impact on the current fiscal year and adjust as necessary. She says we are still a long way from being able to produce accurate current financial statements. If anyone has any questions or concerns throughout the days and weeks ahead, please give me a call. I will be happy to come sit with me if you want. We can call Christy if you have any specific questions. I'll be happy to call her. I know it's not only tax season, but it's also other municipalities that she works with, season, I guess you would say. So she's given us not giving us, but she's working for us a day or two a week. Sometimes that day or two is on the weekend, so you may or may not catch her at City Hall during the week, but she is working for us as often as she can because she knows how critical and important it is to move this stuff forward as quick as possible. But I'll tell you, she is extremely picky. She is making sure that she goes through every number, everything that's in there to make sure it's right. When she's done with it, I am extremely confident that we're going to have good, current, updated numbers that we can go by. So I'll apologize, but it's beyond my control. We are definitely working on it as quickly and diligently as possible to get those numbers up to date and ready for everyone. Standing committee reports. Public Work.
Excuse me, Mayor, before we move on,
Yes, ma'am.
could I ask a question?
Sure.
This is related to the sewer user fees.
Okay.
And my question is, what is the formula used to assess the sewer user fee? Is it current with cost to run the plant? Is it paying for the cost to run the plant? And over the last 4 years, were there any increases for the user fee?
Tim, you want to explain that?
I'll try to answer your first question last, and your last question first. The user fee was adjusted in 2021 or 2022. I'm kind of lost in that many years ago, but it has to be evaluated every year by ordinance. A committee that's specified by ordinance of city engineer, city clerk, CPA, a citizen, your utility committee chairman, your finance committee chairman, and maybe a couple of other people I'm not naming, but that committee is required by ordinance to get together and look at the last published audit. That's what I'm going to go to answer your other question, is that we're not able to do anything until the audit is finished, and the audit can't be finished until the CPA finishes the reconciliation of all your accounts. So we may be late. The ordinance specifies the time that the committee has to meet and has to submit it to the council for consideration. That can't happen until these figures are reconciled.
Okay.
So maybe late. Being late is not necessarily a problem because we still try when we can. If we're going to make an adjustment to the user fee formula, we try to begin the new formula at the beginning of the fiscal year.
What is the current formula?
It's all encompassing.
It's
A comprehensive review of all of your expenditures, here's your asset values, it includes what they've been calling depreciation, which is really a reserve fund for your decline of your accounting expenditures and money over time, and investment of that infrastructure. So it's all encompassing formula, and there is a report we can give you last year's report that we have on that.
And we have found to be compliant.
I think she may be asking how you calculate somebody's monthly fee. Is that-
Yeah, that's right.
The monthly fee, or how you calculate, how does the committee calculate what the fee should be, is,
Both.
okay.
It could be both.
Okay, so write this down, section 10-36 is the ordinance for the review of user fee and the review committee, if you want to read that
Okay.
when you have time. That'll help explain pretty much what Tim was explaining.
Okay.
Also, if you go to my monthly engineer's report, page 21 is the beginning of a history and the latest on the sewer user fee. And on page 20, I can answer your question better now. August 2021, council approved ordinance number 1523 to adjust sewer user fees. The new rate, there was a new rate in town of $17 per 2,000 gallons. Out of town, 17 base rate, $4 per 2,000 gallons, per 1,000 gallons over 2,000 gallons. And out of town was $22.50 base rate and $8.25 per 1,000 gallons for above 2,000 gallons. It came up again a year later, and the committee, in reviewing all expenses and revenues, decided that it did not need to be changed the following year. So that formula that I just read to you is still intact since 2021.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Any other questions? Sandy's been watching sewer work in front of her house the past couple of days. She's intrigued on the sewer
I'm
system.
motivated.
Yes. All right. Public Works Committee, Alderman Jeff Norrie.
Thank you, Mayor. Public Works Committee convened Wednesday, April 5th, 2023, 4 p.m. in the council chambers. The quorum was present. A motion was offered by Alderman Vernon Martin, seconded by Alderwoman Sandy Marks, to approve partial payment estimate number 16 to Glen Leger Construction LLC for citywide street improvements contract 8. Project amount was $279,250.36. Motion carried.
We have a motion. Moved by Alderman Dorey, second by Alderman Core. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion was offered by Alderwoman Sandy Marks, seconded by Alderman Vernon Martin, to approve partial payment estimate number 11 to Glen Leger Construction LLC, contract citywide street improvements, contract B. Project amount $835,641.22. The motion carried. I so move.
Got a motion by Alderman Dorey, second by Alderman Martin. All in favor, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
Is it different number on the agenda?
So, yes, the agenda shows 85,641.22. That is a typo. It should be the 835,641.22.
Since you can make it.
Okay, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Motion was made by Alderwoman Sandy Marks, seconded by Alderman Brad Cord to award contract for fiscal year 2022-23, internal television inspection of storm drains and sanitary sewer system. Motion carried. Ms. Stringfellow asked questions about the bidders' contracts and the discussion ensued. I so move.
Motion by Alderman Dorey, second by Alderman Martin. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
Under non-action items, Public Works Director Albert John delivered the monthly report. Public Works and the Street Commissioner Gilbert Onzine was not present for his monthly report. City Engineer Tim Mader presented the monthly engineer's report. And with that, we close.
Okay, Mr. Reagan says that we need to make sure and mention that the award for the TV inspection is kind of a three-tier sequential process.
The way I suggested we worded it is in accordance with our letter of recommendation, which has a bid tab, and that recommendation to the lowest three.
Right, it's a sequential step up based on the inability of the low bidder to respond in time. That is the
And the urgency
the
of
urgency of the situation. Keeping a line to stop those.
We're good on that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Doré. Utility Committee, Alderman Vernon Martin.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Utility Committee convened Wednesday, April 5th, at 4 p.m. Council Chambers. Quorum was present. On the action items, excuse me, motion was made by Alderwoman Sandy Marks and second by Alderman Jeff Doré to approve partial payment estimate number 2 to Tullers Service LLC for common unit replacement at the main pump station project in the amount of $44,143. That's a good number, Tim?
Yeah, 145, 144, 145.
145, I'm sorry. Motion carried, and I so move.
We have a motion. Second, a motion by Alderman Martin, second by Alderwoman Marks. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. A motion was made by Alderman Jeff Doré and second by Alderwoman Sandy Marks to approve contract change order number 1 to grant a time extension to Tullers Services LLC for the common unit replacement at the main pump station project. Motion carried, and I so move.
We have a motion by Alderman Martin, second by Alderman Doré. Discussion? Mr. Mayor?
I'd like to insert the time extension of 45 days.
I could insert 45 days at the time extension.
From the time of extension?
Yeah, to grant a time extension of 45 days to Teller Services.
Okay, thank you. Motion. Sorry.
That's you. You want to add that to your motion?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. You good with that, Jeff?
Good with that?
All right. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Question there.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
Tim, the funding for that project, where is that coming from? LCDBG. Oh, wait, how many, no, I'm sorry,
Yeah, the common unit.
The
the
common.
common is, the common is, SRF money, and supplemented, I believe it's, ARPA funds. That's also, I can, look it up in my report for you, but it's also, presented there. What the exact numbers are.
Yes. Any other discussion? We did vote on that, right?
Not yet.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Motion was made by Alderman Jeff Doré and second by Alderwoman Sandy Marks to award the contract for the new ultraviolet disinfectant system at the wastewater treatment facility project in the amount of $1,387 and, $1,387,120. Motion carried, and I so move.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Martin, second by Alderwoman Marks. Discussion. Mr. Mayor? Mike, please.
If you would add after to award contract to Volute Inc., VOLUTE, to award a contract to Volute Inc. for that project in that amount.
Good with that motion? Second. Any other discussion?
Yes.
Mr. Gordon?
And the funding for this, Tim, where is this coming?
That's all.
This is all the funds.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion was offered by Alderwoman Sandy Marks and second by Alderman Jeff Doré to approve partial payment estimate number 9 to NCMC LLC for the rehabilitation of the sewage system collection system project in the amount of $314,732.85. Motion carried and I so move.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Martin, second by Alderman Dorey. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Ms. Martin?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
On another action item, the wastewater superintendent Tim Creed was not present to deliver his monthly wastewater report. He emailed his report to the council. City engineer Tim Mader presented the monthly engineer's report. And there being no further business coming before the utility committee, the committee at recess.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. Recreation Committee, Alderman Lachele.
Thank you, Mayor. The Recreation Committee meeting convened on Wednesday, April 5th, 2023 at 4 p.m. in the council chambers. The quorum was present. There were no action items. Under the non-action items, Recreation Director Peter Kirsch presented the monthly Recreation Department report. City Engineer Tim Mayer presented the monthly engineer's report. There was no further business to come before the Recreation Committee. The Recreation Committee recessed.
Thank you, sir. Public Safety, Alderman Core.
Skip, zoning.
Oh, no, let's not skip that. My apologies. See, y'all gotta keep me right here. Zoning and annexation, Alderman Reggie, my apologies.
Thanks, we didn't have much. The Zoning and Annexation Committee convened Wednesday, April 5th, 2023 at 4 p.m. in the council chambers. A quorum was present. Under action items, there were none. Under non-action items, City Engineer Tim Mader presented the monthly engineer's report, and there was no further business to come before the Zoning and Annexation Committee, and the committee recessed.
Thank you, sir. Now, Public Safety,
Thank you,
Alderman
Mayor.
Core.
The Public Safety Committee convened Wednesday, April 5th, 2023, at 4 p.m. in the council chambers, and a quorum was present. Under action items, a motion was made by the chair and seconded by Alderman Jeff Dorey to amend the agenda to include a resolution in support of legislation in creating the Acadiana Regional Juvenile Justice District to an action item. The motion carried. A motion was made by the chair and seconded by Alderman Jeff Dorey to authorize the fire chief to surplus, donate, and dispose of items not needed. There was a list of items included in the packet, and the motion carried, and I so.
Okay, Mr. Core, excuse me a minute, but we're gonna scratch that off of the agenda. I am diligently trying to clean up the city's properties. We're asking other people to clean up theirs, so I'm trying to clean up the cities while we're at it. And I'm learning why a lot of that stuff has been sitting there for many years. Mr. Reagan slapped me on my hand and said that I couldn't do it that way, that we need more information and resolution and all kinds of legal things. So we'll bring those back up next month, those items. And look, I want to apologize for not being here last week. I was in West Monroe at the Mid-Sized Cities Mayor's Conference. Extremely great event and time over there, meeting lots of mayors with cities our size. And although I was in the presentations there, I had my headphones on listening to y'all in the committee meetings. But so we're going to take this off of that the agenda for this month, and we'll bring it back next month when we have the proper legal actions.
Yes.
Thank you.
Government compliance.
Do we need to do anything with the juvenile justice?
Yes, so we need to do the juvenile justice.
Okay.
Make a motion to adopt that.
Yes, motion was offered by the chair and seconded by Alderman Jeff Dorey to approve a resolution in support of legislation in creating the Acadiana Juvenile Justice District. The motion carried, and I so move.
Okay, we have a motion, a second. Motion by Alderman Core, second by Alderman Martin. Any discussion?
Resolution is in your packets. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
A motion was made to amend the agenda by the chair and seconded by Alderman Jeff Dorey to include and approve to full council a CEA with the Acadia Parish Police Jury for condemnation, demolition, and cleanup of blighted properties. The motion carried, and I so move.
I have a motion by Alderman Core, second by Alderwoman Marks. Discussion. Again, my apologies for not being here last week. I'll explain what this is about. Going forward, I would like to try and have the city actually do the work on demolishing properties that go through the condemnation process. This will save the city some money and actually save the property owners money also when it's time for them to pay those bills on their property taxes. If the city hires a contractor to do these jobs, it's going to cost in excess of, sometimes $10,000 or more. And we can't collect that money right away from these property owners. Some of them have, 15, 20, as much as 30 or so heirs on these properties. And so my goal is to have the city, we have a machine, we have employees, not many of them, but we have some employees that can operate the machine. We will have to, we will charge our hourly rate and all that good stuff for the city, but I want to enter a CA with the parish so that they will bring us the containers, the roll-off containers, and we will fill those roll-off containers, and then they will take them away. That will help save money also for the city to do these condemnations. So it's an effort to try and get these condemnations not only through the legal process and to the point that it's time to demolish, but also through that point of demolishing and cleaning up that property so we can move forward on this stuff. So that's what that's about. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And the agreement's in effect.
That agreement is also in your packet, yes.
Under non-action items, Chief of Police Troy Hebert presented his monthly report. Fire Chief Louis Romero presented his monthly fire department report. City Inspector Tony Duhon was not present to give the inspector's monthly report. The chair gave the monthly inspector's report. There was no further business to come before the Public Safety Committee and the committee recess.
Thank you, sir. Public buildings, Alderman Dorey.
Thank you, Mayor. Public Buildings Committee convened Wednesday, April 5th, 2023 at 4 p.m. in the council chambers, and a quorum was present. Under action items and non-action items, there were no items, and so we recessed.
Thank you, sir. Insurance and Personnel, Alderwoman Marks.
The Insurance and Personnel Committee convened Wednesday, April 5th, 2023 at 4 p.m. in the council chambers. A quorum was present. The action item, a motion was made by myself, Alderwoman Sandy Marks, and seconded by Alderwoman Katie Shetson to amend the agenda to include and approve to a full council a resolution to place police officers under contract for 2 years. Otherwise, officers would reimburse the police department for training expenses. Motion carried. I so move.
Yes, ma'am, okay. Motion by Alderwoman Marks, second by Alderman Core. Discussion. Again, this is something I wasn't here to explain, but it should be kind of self-explanatory. Our police chief even explained that we send our police officers to some of the best training in the area, and they come to work for us. We train them and pay for their training, and then they leave. This will be an ordinance that will require them to stay with the City of Crowley Police Department for at least 2 years. In the event they leave early, then they'll have to reimburse a fee to the city.
Okay, yeah, this is to set the hearing date, but that's what this is about.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
No, if you don't mind, I forgot what year it was, but a while back, we had one of those agreements in place. I don't know if you remember it.
We now have to do it by statute. The statute calls for it. We now have to adopt an ordinance, statute calls for an ordinance now.
Okay. But we did have one in effect a while
We
back.
did, but it was discontinued by one of the chiefs I won't mention who discontinued that.
Yeah, no,
It's been many years, as you point out, that's definitely.
yeah. I knew we had one too. All right, just want to say
Yes.
thanks.
Thank you. So we're gonna set the date for the hearing, May 10th? Yes, May 10th at 6 p.m. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
On non-action items, there were none. There was no business to come before the Insurance and Personnel Committee, and the committee recessed.
Thank you, ma'am. Community Economic Development, Alderwoman Chasson.
Thank you. The Community and Economic Development Committee convened Wednesday, April 5th, 2023 at 4 p.m. in the council chambers. A quorum was present. There were no action items. Non-action items. Alderwoman Katie Chasson gave updates from the Tourism Director, Crowley Main Street, Acadia Parish Chamber of Commerce, the Crowley Garden Club, West Crowley Beautification, and Historic District Committee. Alderman Sammy Reggie gave updates from the Main Street Conference that he attended. There was no further business to come before the Community and Economic Development Committee. The committee recessed.
Thank you, ma'am. Revenue and Finance, Alderman Lachele.
Thank you, Mayor. The Revenue and Finance Committee convened on Wednesday, April 5th, 2023 at 4 p.m. in the council chambers. The quorum was present. Under action items, a motion was offered by Alderman Vernon Martin and seconded by Alderman Brad Core to amend the agenda to include a resolution pertaining to a standby letter of credit with First National Bank of Louisiana. Motion carried. A motion was offered by Alderman.
Motion carried. You want to make that motion? Okay, you're good. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. A motion was offered by Alderman Brad Core and seconded by Alderman Vernon Martin to approve a resolution pertaining to a standby letter of credit with First National Bank of Louisiana. Motion carried, I so move.
Sorry about that, I was jumping.
Second.
You were on point. So we have a motion by Alderman Lachele, second by Alderman Reggie. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
On the non-action items, there were none. There was no further business to come before the Revenue and Finance Committee. The committee recessed.
Yes, ma'am.
I wanted to mention that the car show has been changed to this Sunday from 9 until 3 based on the fact that we were expecting bad weather on Saturday.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, Alderman Lachele. Let's see, engineers report. One more time, I want to just give you all a little update on we had that
On the fines, we did have a public hearing.
Yes.
you are correct, sir. That should have went in public safety.
But
we're good.
It's an ordinance to amend and reenact section 14.1B. This is an ordinance to amend and reenact section 14.1B of chapter 14 of article 2 of the Code of Ordinances to increase the minimum fines for traffic violations, repeal ordinances, abort ordinances contrary thereto, and conflict therewith,
to provide for the provisions hereof to be severable, and to provide for all matters relative thereto.
Need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion from Alderman Core, second from Alderwoman Marks. Any discussion? Mr. Martin?
This went to a public hearing,
We had it at
At the
6.
beginning of the meeting, nobody spoke. That was the beginning, first thing we did in the meeting.
That was the public hearing that we had at the beginning of the meeting, yes, sir.
okay, well, I'm gonna have to abstain from that, because I didn't hear everything, but, okay.
All right. Any other discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Any other? Yeah, roll call, I'm sorry. Mr. Glenn, please, sir.
Katie Chasson. Brad Core.
Yes.
Jeff Doré.
Yes.
Dickie Lachele.
Yes.
Vernon is abstaining. Sandy Marks.
Yes.
Sammy Ready.
Yes.
Five yeas, no nays, one abstain. Motion carries. Thank you all. All right, real quick, again, so I went to West Monroe, is why I wasn't here last week, and I just wanted to share a few things with y'all. West Monroe is a city the size of Crowley. They have a population of 13,000 people. Their budget is larger than ours, but they have some really awesome amenities, I guess you would say, for their citizens. And look, I'm no fool. These things can't happen in a year or 4 or 6 maybe even, I don't know, but it's obviously a goal to have some of these things for our citizens. They actually have a senior center. That senior center has a recreation center to it. This is all city-owned buildings operated by city employees. And while I was there, the second day of the event, we were able to tour that facility, and we were able to join in on a game of pickleball. They had some of the seniors in West Monroe that were playing pickleball indoors there. It was a rainy day, but they were definitely enjoying themselves in there. The mayor's dad was actually in there playing pickleball at 82 years old, I think he was. But it was very interesting to watch and see. They also have transportation that is somewhat funded, partially funded by the state. But they do have transportation for seniors. They are building in the city of West Monroe, partially funded by an economic district for the parish, but they are actually building a sports complex. This sports complex is a $20 million project. It is one heck of a facility that they're building, and there is obviously other funding with it, but just to put a little emphasis on our sporting complex that we have here with our 9 fields and the monies that we've invested in sports and travel ball and attracting people to our city. We're not unique. Other cities are doing it. West Monroe is one, and they're investing $20 million in their sports arena. This is all indoors sports arena. It's a very, very amazing complex. But they also have a recycle center. City rents a building. It's an old mechanic shop. They actually rent this building, and they have part-time city employees, and of course volunteers involved. But the citizens actually show up and they separate their own stuff. There's different bins for different plastics and cans and things of that sort. And the citizens separate their own things, but while we were touring that facility, we were there for maybe a half hour touring the facility, and it was nonstop. People driving in, getting out of their vehicles with bags of recycled material to be recycled and depositing it in the city's recycle program. It was a really, really awesome thing to see. But I was able to meet other mayors with cities of our size, lots and lots of information. The next one is in the fall. Unfortunately, it is the first week of that month again, which is our committee meeting. I do plan to go. I'm hopeful that maybe one year we can actually host it. But I'm also hopeful that, and I will bring this up at the next one, that I don't know, they can't plan around Crowley, but hopefully we can have it later in the month so that some of our council members can attend also. It was a very, very good event to go to if we can get some of our people over there. So, but if nobody else, any other business come before the council? I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Dory, second by Alderwoman Marks. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you all.
Mayor, does that mean the possibility the city council could have its own pickleball team?
So I'll tell you
I
that
challenge Jeff Dory.